Hello, and welcome to the WrestleTalk news. If you were sick of seeing me talk about news, sorry, the news don't stop ever, apparently. I'm already going to be on the WrestleTalk news video that's going out today as normal, the normal news video. And in that video, I talk about the latest developments of the Vince McMahon allegations, backstage reactions to it, if Stephanie McMahon knew before she took her leave of absence whether this investigation was happening, and all that stuff. And I figured that that was the latest on the situation. But turns out it's not, because we have now got an official statement from WWE and its board of directors that have done a joint release about this investigation and the allegations against Mr. McMahon. And it's very interesting because, as according to this press release that they have just put out, WWE and the board of directors today announced that a special committee of the board is conducting an investigation into alleged misconduct by its chairman and CEO Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, head of talent relations, and that effective immediately, McMahon has voluntarily stepped back from his responsibilities as CEO and chairman of the board until the conclusion of the investigation. McMahon will retain his role and responsibilities related to WWE's creative content during this period and remains committed to cooperating with the review underway. So he's still going to be across creative. He's still going to be involved in all the booking of Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff, and taking part in all his normal duties there. But just as CEO and as chairman of the board, he is stepping away effective immediately. The special committee has appointed Stephanie McMahon to serve as interim CEO and interim chairwoman. We've got an interim AEW world champion in AEW right now, and WWE have gone, we can one-up you that. We'll have an interim chairman. So Stephanie McMahon is the interim CEO and interim chairwoman. I have no idea how this is going to impact her leave of absence that she took before, whether she's still on that leave of absence or whether she's coming back, or I don't know. They don't mention it in this thing. There's also a statement from Vince McMahon that says, I have pledged my complete cooperation to the investigation by the special committee, and I will do everything possible to support the investigation. I have also pledged to accept the findings and outcome of the investigation, whatever they are. Very interesting. I love this company, and I'm committed to working with the independent directors. Hold on, sorry. This is from Stephanie McMahon. It's not confusing at all, I promise. This one is from Stephanie McMahon that says, I love this company and I'm committed to working with the independent directors to strengthen our culture and our company. It is extremely important to me that we have a safe and collaborative workplace. I've committed to doing everything in my power to help the special committee complete its work, including marshalling the cooperation of the entire company to assist in the completion of the investigation and to implement its findings. The statement continues, WWE and its board of directors take all allegations of misconduct very seriously. The independent directors of the board engaged independent legal counsel to assist them with an independent review. In addition, the special committee and WWE will work with an independent third party to conduct a comprehensive review of the company's compliance program, HR function, and overall culture. The company and the board do not expect to have further comment until the investigation is concluded. That's a lot. Stephanie McMahon is the interim CEO and interim chairwoman of WWE, while Vince McMahon takes a step back from his roles as CEO and chairman of the board. That is huge in and of itself. These past few days have been absolutely insane in terms of wrestling news. And this is still like when me and Ollie went through our news yesterday, where we spoke about this stuff. And we said that this could be the biggest news story of the decade. This is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Vince McMahon stepping back from his responsibilities. That's insane. That's crazy. If this investigation goes a certain direction, it's a quote that I mentioned in my other news video that goes up today. It might not be before long before we see Vince McMahon not in WWE. There's a quote from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. He spoke to other people that deal in big business, quote unquote. who said that they think that Vince McMahon might not survive as CEO coming out of this investigation. With him stepping back as part of this already, I have no idea how this is going to go. But there will be this special committee on the board who's going to be heading up this investigation, and they're going to work with third-party companies to make sure that everything is sorted and done. I cannot wrap my head around the last few days of wrestling news. It's been absolutely insane. Obviously, we have no idea how this is going to... Well, obviously, Vince is going to stay in his creative position. Like I said, it's not going to affect Raw and SmackDown particularly. But I don't know how this affects Stephanie's leave of absence, whether she's coming back or not. It's really curious that we've now got an actual statement from Vince McMahon that says he's going to do everything possible to support the investigation and that he's pledged to accept the findings and outcome of the investigation, whatever they are. Because to me, now, we're flipping from fact into straight up opinion right now. We'll flip that switch. My opinion, it sounds like he already knows what the outcome of the investigation is going to be. And it's not good. That's just my opinion, is that he already knows what's going to happen. And he's already bracing himself. For me, him stepping back and stepping away from it is so that the transition to him leaving WWE afterwards is easier. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm completely off base. That's my opinion. But Stephanie McMahon being named interim CEO and interim chairwoman for me is really interesting because she's the one who had the leave of absence. She's the one who got buried by the other executives higher up. According to Dave Meltzer, they buried her on the way out as she took a leave of absence. And now she's the one who's been named the interim CEO and interim chairwoman. I have no idea what any of this means. I have no idea about any of the powers at play here. I don't know who, like, I'm stunned that Nick Khan wasn't named interim CEO and interim chairwoman. He seemed like the perfect guy to do it. If Stephanie McMahon had her leave of absence and Nick Khan is on the board of directors and right there, you'd think that they'd go with Nick Khan, but they have chosen Stephanie McMahon instead. I don't know what this means for anybody involved, but this is a crazy story, and I have no idea what's going to happen from here. Like we said, we're probably not going to get any further comment on it until the investigation has concluded. We have no time frame for how long that will take, but we're just going to have to sit tight and wait and see what happens. Unbelievable. All this stuff is absolutely insane. Of course, please do stay tuned to WrestleTalk.com, which will have the latest on all of this stuff, as well as all of the other wrestling news happening right now, because good God, there's so much of it. Subscribe if you haven't enabled notifications, because there's obviously going to be more news coming. So there's going to be more news videos. Stay up to date with all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Chopper P. Cornell. Subscribe, like the video, jam that jam, all that stuff. Goodbye. Wrestling news. There's so much of it.